What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. Yes, from last week, we're taking a break from the drama, and instead just took a break in general. No, there was no episode last week. But what was it? I don't actually remember why there wasn't.
You just didn't film.
I think I just didn't. What was I doing on the main channel back on last week? Cause
not streaming.
I mean, okay. Well, now I'm back to streaming. Okay, but I'm also back on the Stick Drift Podcast. Yes,
Whoa.
Welcome back to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things car culture, racing games, and motorsports. And this week there is a fair bit of stuff to go into. As soon as I figure out why I don't actually remember why I missed an episode last week, and I guess I'll never know. I must have just been doing.
It's a mystery.
I was probably just doing videos on the main channel, I imagine. But here we are, back finally, you could say. And what is there to even talk about this? Well, because it's been multiple weeks. We have to go a fair bit back.
That's quite a lot.
There was the new Fast X trailer, which you actually told me you loved. You said it was amazing.
I love it so much.
And
it was great. Engaging and emotionally moving.
And to be fair, I don't even know if you watched it. Actually,
I did watch it.
I've forgotten anything.
I don't remember anything about it. It was so generic.
Motorfest stuff to be talked about that. We are a month late on. It's the stuff that we didn't talk about from a month ago. Because every time we just forgot to, and then didn't have episodes or whatever, you know. But then Formula E protests, which were interesting. That was a big news. Like, that was a main news thing, as far as I saw. And then some crazy crashes or something or whatever, and engine setting on fire like a little bit after that. I remember seeing a meme that was, did they set the car on fire just for the environment protest? And it was just...
It was a French car.
It was the smoke just huffing out of the, top thing. F1 23 leak details new development system for career mode and my team.
F1 23 is not looking good.
Post that. I don't remember... maybe for the gaming segment? I guess that's probably posted for the gaming segment. Sure. But then we had Toyota faking something?
Because car manufacturing in the year 2023 is wild. Toyota makes the Yaris, but the Yaris is made by Daihatsu. Because... friends?
Yeah.
But Daihatsu falsified the crash test reports for the Yaris.
Huh.
So Toyota's just like, please, it wasn't us, please.
Yeah. Two Alpines, not one, but two Alpines, two Cupras, and a really wild and wacky thing to talk about for drivers under 25. In fact, I think that's dumb enough and laughable enough that I think we start on that. So, if you're watching right now, under the age of 25, and have ever considered driving around, say you're thinking about getting a car, what's one of the main reasons you want to get a car? Maybe you want to go to work, you want to get a proper job, you want to go to Tesco, you want to go to a Walmart, you want to go to the local bowling alley, you want to go to see a movie and not have to be driven there by your parents or something, right? Or take public transport. Pretty cringe, right? So you're there, you're like, I'll grab a car, I'll buy a car. What's another main reason you would get a car? To go out with your mates. To chill with your mates and take them out somewhere.
When you hear the direct quote, it's even funnier.
Oh no! to take a girl out, perhaps your girlfriend, your fiance.
You might be able to get away with that because the wording.
Okay, but you may have a group of mates you want to go out with. Maybe you want to party. Whatever you want to do. If you're under 25, there's a lot of reasons you would want to get a car and do a bunch of stuff with it. But something seems to have changed in the British government's head, and that is...
It's the roads minister, like the person he's called Richard Holden, which is
Holden,
which is
nuts.
a pretty good name.
Wait.
But he's reportedly considering calls from lobbyists to amend the driver's license rules. So newly qualified drivers under 25 quotation marks can't take to the road with their mates as passengers.
What? But one, that. Two, I just realised his name is Dick Holden. His name is Dick Holden, which is pretty cool.
Is he because Holden like the Australian brand, and he's used mates in the phrasing.
Might just be, but which if anything feels like a conflict of interest. Of course, they're gonna want us to not be driving cars. But yeah, so read that quote again.
Drivers under 25 can't take to the roads with their mates as passengers.
Which is what? Like, I could understand being drunk. I could understand being high. But what is with your mates as passengers? So you could have your girlfriend, as long as she's not your friend.
They just gotta beat her up, I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
The police stops you, and you're like, no,
just get into a fight.
Exactly. You're like, no, don't worry. We shag, but we hate each other. Don't worry. We're dating. We give each other flowers, but just
colleagues.
Exactly. We're really just intimate associates, if you will, officer. Like what? And exactly, like what? Are you just gonna have to be like, yo, boys, we're gonna go out to I don't know, drive to London. Everyone put on the suits so we pretend we're work colleagues. Like, it's such a dumb... What? Okay, look, I to jump into devil's advocate, right? Is it because having mates in the car, they'll, like, film and laugh and joke? I don't know. If you
have a camcorder, just right action.
You're probably like doing something worth filming, right? Like, is it? I imagine.
Alfie Drive. I guarantee you, Alfie Drive's no different from the stories I've heard with us or in or out the car.
Yeah, but like, is it because like guys are too boisterous that like they assume that if it's like a bunch of lads in a car, it's just gonna be bricks flying out the window of the car, just like like what, grabbing the driver.
The second you turn 26, it's fine.
Yeah, you all just sit there with like coffee in hand, just yes, shall we drive to the movie theater? Just but like on the day, like I don't. And how does that work too? Is it like you're like in the car, right? And you're like, officer, we're all 25. I need to see all of your IDs. And like one of them's 24. Like, how does it work? Is it like what? Is it just the driver? Is it all the mates? Are you allowed to be a 25-year-old with 4 7-year-olds in you? Okay, no, maybe you should be stopped if that's the case.
The RAC goes into some pure waffle later on in this article. Yeah. Like, they say that statistically young drivers under 25 account for less crashes than over 85s.
Account for less crashes that... so why are we
being... You're gonna ban over 85s from going to bingo or something, I don't know.
Well, yeah, so it's them who are doing more crashes. Wait. I'm not clocking. Did they just say that the over 85...
The RAC is trying to be as neutral as humanly possible. I assume it's their job.
Yeah, like...
Because they're saying, well, they cause more single-person accidents, i.e. they put themselves into edge. But over 85s cause more multi-vehicle collisions, so they're bad.
So...
But then they're also like, but it would be restrictive and bad.
Maybe they just want, like, a less KD. I don't know. They don't want as... Like, it's like... Okay, so you guys are young.
The 25s are only allowed to carry over 85s, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, but like...
Statistically the most dangerous pairing.
What is it? So it's like, well, you can't die alone, or like, what, or like, no, well, if you... I'm so confused, where's the logic? If you're in a car on your own and you're under 25, you're likely to just, plow into a brick wall on your own.
This goes to Parliament, recent. Parliament will consider the future of the Road Traffic New Drivers Act next month, May 16th.
Oh, okay. So this is like what, within 2 weeks, like just under 2 weeks.
This is getting fast-tracked.
Yeah, and here's the issue, though. Okay, look, we'll talk about how dumb it is, but here's the, like, some more meta issue of it, is whether it'll go through or not. Anyone older in politics hates you if you're young. Like, it's unfeasible to buy a house. It's ungodly inconvenient to own a car, to buy a house, to do anything, to loans. Everything is being made endlessly harder and harder for anyone younger than, like, the average of the House of Commons, right? So I reckon there's probably a big chance that goes through. Just because I reckon...
It would be so insane.
Yeah, because what? Under 25s, right? I guarantee you there is not a single under 25 who is going to be deciding on that law. Like, I mean, I'd be surprised.
Not.
Exactly,
No.
exactly, right? So instantly it would be, that doesn't affect me. And they're all elitist pricks, so it's going to be, and if they're younger than me, they're really...
Oh, no, there's probably some over 85s in there, so they might be having a bit of a...
Well,
they're going to see the RSC's quote and just lose have a fit or something, I don't know.
But they'll sit there and be like, oh, this generation is screwed anyway. What are they going to go out to drink and do drug? Like,
Me when one marijuana.
Me when I do drug. Like, it's like, I reckon that they're so out of touch. I reckon that I hope that there's some self-awareness, sense up there that it doesn't. But there's not going to be a single under 25. It's going to be, this doesn't affect me.
I mean...
And also, I hate the generation below.
It looks like the RAC is saying that there should be exceptions for work, so if you just have a suit on at all times...
Exactly. I mean, that might be the strat. Yeah. Like, what? You get... you get pulled over, and they're like, IDs to 23. Do you want to tell me who this guy is to you? I hate this guy. It sucks. We worked... I swear he's... assistant. I swear... Like, well, how's that... What? Again, like, mates, it's so... That's not a...
That phrasing can't be in the final legislation. There's no way.
Like, what would they change it to? Because anything would either cover too much or cover too
It
little.
would probably be carrying occupants who are also under 25, I assume.
Yeah, again, but then it's like work associates, cousins.
Where are we heading? The cinema to do what? Work.
Exactly.
How would that be enforced?
What if they're a relative?
Are they going to pull over every single person who looks sort of young with two people in the car?
Like, is it going to be, like, are you able to drive your siblings around anymore? Like, are you going to be able to drive anyone? Again, which way is it? Is it everyone?
It's going to need to be like a 5-page document of every exemption.
Every like clarification, because it's like...
Because the second there's a loophole, it's going to be exploited to another level.
What if the driver's 23 and all the people in the car are 26? What if the driver's 26 and all the people are in 23, you know? Like, what if one guy in the back is 23 and everyone's just like sweating, hoping they don't discover that he's 23? Are people going to get fake IDs?
If you had a van, that would be a meta life hack. Because they
Exactly.
can't say you're not going to work if you have tools in the back of the van.
Exactly.
Like,
And you just keep
van
high vises.
sales going up.
You keep high vises in the van.
Exactly.
As well.
You could just say you're like a self-employed contractor or something, and you and your employees are going to work.
I don't get it. Why is this so dumb? You know what? I reckon it'll be... We saw a law a while ago that was very dumb. It was called Cycling Furiously.
That is a banger, though.
That law, I reckon, that's just like a tack-on law. Like, they'll just chuck it on if they want. And it wouldn't be... If I was really annoyed while cycling, I doubt that's what they would, like... I doubt they just charge me for it. I imagine it's when someone's being a nuisance cycling. I reckon, long run, if this goes through, they won't pull anyone over or whatever. What they'll do is they'll... If you're actually in a car where there is stuff being chucked out the window, it is like 4 people in the back on a 3 backseater. Like 2 people in the passenger seat. You know, music blaring. It'll just be like a no have fun policy, is what it'll be.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those no have fun policies. Like, which obviously, don't crash your car, right? Like, obviously have fun, but like, don't crash your car, obviously. But... And don't be
It's
a hindrance
honestly
to...
impressive the amount of people that can bin a 1.2 Corsa.
Yeah.
Like, how is that scientifically possible with like 70 brake horsepower?
Like, I guess if you think about it, the real, like, British teenager types, 7 of them in a 5-seater, if it was used for that, sure, I guess. But if it's just being used as a blanket, if someone in your car is under
the type
25,
of people to do like 90 and a 30 with 8 people in the car aren't going to care about this rule anyway.
Exactly. But, like... And what
No
is this
place on
What
their
actually
like
is it?
2006 BMW 1 Series.
Is it a law, or is it, what is it? Like...
Oh, it's going through Parliament, so I assume they'll decide then.
Because if it's a law, it might just be like one of those things where they just need something else that they can tack on to charge you with. Like, it might just be one of those ones that they wouldn't use on anyone. They would just, like, they won't just give you... Well, because, yeah, what if you're driving completely fine, but also there's a whole load of ruckus going on in the car? I imagine it's just so they can get away with actually charging people
that's
doing
kind of why driving without due care exists. Because
Exactly, yeah.
you can't really prove that you were driving without due care. They can just kind of be like,
Yeah,
I don't like you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the issue. Yeah, that's where
Like,
the
I
issue's
feel
gonna come
you were
in, right?
driving without due care and attention.
Exactly. It's like you could all be in suits and stuff, and they could decide that, actually, I've decided you guys are good mates, known each other since lower school, and have been to each other's weddings. So, actually...
Your Instagram account, you like this post in 2014.
Yeah. You're just in... You're just in court having to be like, Your Honor, I don't know this man. That wasn't me at his birthday, I swear. The mates is so dumb. What is this
That
law?
phrasing can't be funny.
No. But I'm curious. So it'll be 2 episodes of the podcast till that goes through. Hopefully there's news that comes through it, because we will forget if there is.
If it does get banned, it'll be everywhere, because everyone will be like, whoa, UK government. It'll be a UK
It'll be on
government
I'm
moment.
Just bait. Like, it'll... Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, everyone will hear about it, and you'll hear about it on the Stick Drift podcast, especially if you're outside of the UK. It's a very dumb thing going on, so, like, hey, look, I say that America is the world's biggest reality TV show. The UK's not been any better recently.
Far off.
No, the UK's been atrocious recently.
Because I'm under 25 and have a motorcycle license, I could take you on the back of a motorcycle, but not in the back of a car, which is wild. How does that work?
It makes no sense. The wording's dumb. The people are dumb.
It would need so much, like, it would need to cover every single basis. Because someone could buy like an fire truck or something and just go around into that.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't like it has due care. You can't really get out of if the guy doesn't like you. But like this one, there's so many technicalities that they have to be specific. I'm just hoping. I know they're all older in Parliament, but I'm just hoping because there is a few of them that make TikToks and stuff too, and they actively seem to care about anyone under the age of like 25. They'll be like,
the issue is none of those are Department of Transport people.
Yeah, and they don't really have a say because everyone else will be like, you care about young people? You're not a real politician? Grrr. What do you mean we're gonna die soon and everyone else is gonna have to live in the world we've created?
Where's my free insider trading?
Exactly. Like, god damn it. Politicians are so dumb, man. It's
All 4 politicians are livid right now.
Yeah. I can't wait till it all flips around. I can't wait till... Because everything flip-flops. Like, everything will flip-flop endlessly. So I can't wait till it flip-flops back to our generation being the ones that are in power, essentially. And I hope there isn't enough degenerates.
Been happening for about 40 years. So.
Yeah, that's the issue. Oh dear. Well, you know what? What is the state of the UK government? That was that segment.
When was the last time it was good?
Like roughly never, but like, you know, depending on when you ask.
It's either we were oppressing other nations or we're just making dumb rules up for ourselves.
Yeah, we really
there's no real good.
We don't help ourselves at all, really.
No,
like,
there's
Europe
no
as a
real
whole,
good part.
No. It's like, I mean, Europe, you know what? Europe is very consumer, but God, the UK is very anti... making anti-everything, making everything, anti-everything. Like, if you're older, you're probably being mistreated in the UK. If you're younger, you're probably being mistreated in the UK. If you're middle-aged and not a politician, you're probably being mistreated in the UK. Like, it's shocking. Dear Lord, I'm booking a plane to Canada. God damn. But
Canada's got a good track record, to be fair.
Oh yeah, true. No, and I'm that's a fair point. Actually, you know what?
Nowhere has a good track record.
Nowhere does. Like, literally,
make your own country.
I might have to at this point. Motor Nation.
Still Greenland. I don't know.
Motor Nation has a good track record. But yes, from that, I suppose, because God, that is terrible. By the way, just a quick reminder to subscribe and whatnot. Of course, leave a like on the podcast. Check out the podcast. Watch it a few times, maybe.
At least.
Right? Or now that we've done a fair few, watch through some of the old episodes in full. Of course, this is because watch time. Yeah, I've hit 1,000 subscribers, but the podcast will be getting a bunch of perks when we reach monetization and whatnot, so do what's do it. Subscribe.
In November.
Exactly. Subscribe with notifications on. It would be very much appreciated. And let us know in the comments any of your thoughts on any of the topics mentioned today. If you're watching on Spotify, make sure you're subbed on YouTube and vice versa. Follow on Spotify. So, the next thing to bring up, because God, I'm glad we talked about that one first, because that one is impeccably dumb. But speaking of impeccably dumb, Fast X got a trailer, and I don't remember a single thing that happened in it.
It was just so generic. It's just cars. Whoa, action. Cars, action.
I think Jason Momoa didn't look as bad as he did in the first one, but like...
it'd be hard to make him look worse.
I was gonna say, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny to see The Rock not exist just because Dwayne, what's his name, doesn't like him. Vin Diesel doesn't like him. I think, like... Never mind. Do I even care enough about this at all until it comes out? I don't think I do, no. Looking at the trailer now... Oh, I mean, the guy who plays Shaw is quite cool, I guess. And he teams up with Han, which is like...
This is going to be the most mid-film.
Since when was Han alive again? When did that happen?
I don't know. I saw something on TikTok about it.
Oh, and it's another car with just like an exo chassis thing. They've never done that before. They've never had an external chassis on a car before. This is a first for the Fast and Furious franchise.
Really revolutionary content.
It truly is. And I believe... I don't know. I think Vin Diesel... Oh my god. It's that I'm... Never mind, there was something cool in this trailer. 2 semi-fuel trucks drive into each other at the end. Like, Dom is on like an Uber dam, right? He's there facing the water side, and 2 semi-trucks are going at him, and he just drives forward, and they clang and explode in a fireball, is what happens. What is
this film? Is this film even going to be worth seeing? Like,
we're gonna have to, but it's just not gonna be worth it.
Not if this law goes through.
Oh yeah, true. No, never mind. Yeah. Oh dear, this is.
It's just so nothing.
No. I reckon, didn't the last one flop? I swear the last one.
It didn't do as well. I don't think it flopped. I don't think it could ever flop.
Well, we're talking relatively, because I think it still probably would have done like 300 million plus, but
easily. I think like 4 or 5. But yeah.
But it didn't do 800 million or like 700, like the ones we're building up to. So if the franchise is already going downhill, they already want Vin Diesel out because they're trying to force him to not direct the last one. This is supposed to be a 2-part finale. They're going to be doing spin-offs after this, right? Like, that's the plan, I swear. Is that they're going to be doing a bunch of spin-offs.
Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Hobbs and Shaw 2, right? Han and Shaw.
The Fast expanded universe, I don't know.
Yeah. But they couldn't do Hobbs and Shaw because that's got The Rock, and Vin Diesel doesn't like The Rock, so they couldn't do that. I remember this. I find this quite funny, right? Imagine explaining how Hobbs and Shaw is in the same universe to someone who's only watched the first film. imagine someone watches the first film, then you show them Hobbs and Shaw, and imagine having to explain to them how you got from there.
Oh, I mean, the first film is quite ridiculous still. Like, it's still quite...
But I stand by this. It's got a bit of charm that, like, the insanely produced ones don't, right? It's like... It's
like a fan film.
Yeah. It's not just a generic action film, right? It's like a guy is undercover stealing cars racing film rather than just it's an action film but with cars.
I mean, the jump from undercover cop film to action film isn't that vast, really.
I guess, yeah, but as in we're talking helicopters being pulled down by pulleys and two semis crashing into each other and flying to the moon in a car.
I haven't seen that one, I'm thankful.
I haven't either, and yeah. But imagine that. Imagine, like, even the people, right? Like, you've got relatively unknown actors at the time. And then now you've got The Rock. And, what was his name? Is he the Premier Inn guy? He has a name. The guy who's like the, Black Superman, or whatever his name was. Shaw, he had a name, he did. He wins, like, most handsome man in the world, like, multiple times.
Me?
Yeah, okay. Hobbs and Shaw cast.
No.
Idris Elba! There you go.
Idris Elba is in what?
He's in Hobbs and Shaw. Did you not know this?
No.
Hobbs and Shaw, he's the bad guy. He's like a super soldier. Yeah.
I must have been asleep for that film. What?
Ryan
was the
Reynolds
villain.
is in it. What? Apparently Ryan Reynolds is in this.
He probably plays, like, I don't know, car driver number 6, I don't know.
Kevin Hart is in this film.
They have too much money.
But yeah, imagine, like, you're talking to someone, again, who's only seen the first film. Undercover, cop film. By the end, they do a race and whatever. And then you're seeing Idris Elba jump from a truck to another truck, go, I'm Black Superman, and seeing a McLaren zoom off of like a ramp or whatever happens in that movie. I don't even remember anymore. It's... what happened to this franchise, man? Every time we talk about it.
Money.
Yeah. Every time we talk about it, it's just that. You know what? It was like Marvel, Transformers, and Fast and Furious. They all just became action sludge. Like,
I mean, was Transformers ever anything other than action advertising?
No, but I guess, I guess it eventually became not that. Marvel teeters in between. It goes in and out of being that. And Fast and Furious went into that. Because it was like, what? Avengers happened, and then everyone went, wait, let's make a big thing. Or like the first Transformers that spent like $1 billion or whatever. And they were like, actually, let's just make it all CGI and epic action. It's just like...
The fact that Transformers 1 CGI is actually better than most of the stuff Marvel puts out nowadays is wild.
Yeah, completely unrelated, but yeah, pretty funny.
Just a Marvel moment, I have to know.
Oh, and actually, speaking of Transformers, I suppose they will make this a mini movie segment. Transformers Rise of the Beast got a new trailer, I believe. Yeah, 8 days ago, it got another trailer. Focuses a bit more on Mirage, I believe.
I saw one that had a one-liner in it, and I closed it straight after it, so...
I think he, like, is it the one where the guy's talking to Mirage, and there's, like, a one-liner?
I don't know if it's Mirage. There's, like, the woman.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's one where, like, anime... But there's an anime motorcycle transformer.
That's the one I think I'm on about. Yeah. The woman transformer. I think
she's like sat there, she's like, oh, please not be real, please not be real, and then looks and then she gives a little wave and it's like, laugh track or whatever.
Yeah, I think I closed it like the laugh track, guys. Laugh tracks are just bad. They shouldn't exist.
Just what's it called?
It's literally like he's behind me, isn't he?
It's that. It's like Marvel, Transformers, all of that just caused Hollywood to become
it's the Marvel effect.
Action, exactly. CGI
the comedy
action
is Marvel comedy.
It's so bad. What movie had that unironically? Thor: Love and Thunder. After the meme, post memes, had a "he's right behind me, isn't he?" which is atrocious.
All Love and Thunder with the CGI of the kid.
Exactly. There's a Nissan Skyline. They showed more of that. There's a pickup, which it's a.
Did you know Thor: Love and Thunder got nominated for video effects of?
I saw that, yeah, and I believe did Everything Everywhere All at Once not, because it better have compared to Thor: Love and Thunder.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once went for more of the actor roles instead of visual effects.
Which, by the way, completely unrelated and no place in this podcast. But you know the tax lady. She won an acting award instead of the young daughter. Which,
I saw that. I saw that.
The tax lady, who sure she was great, but wasn't crazy good.
I mean, young daughter, isn't she like 25 or something?
I mean, in the movie, young daughter, I guess. But that was atrocious. Completely unrelated, but outrageous that. What's her name? Tax lady won the.
Did it not win? Did it win best? What? Because it won best lead actress, best support actress.
Yeah, it won for the
best actor or support actor.
Because the Waymond and the main lady.
Yeah.
And then I think the tax lady.
I'd assume it got best actress, best support actor, and best supporting actress.
I assume it got non-actor related ones as well, because the movie had a lot of.
If it didn't get best director, then hard to.
Yeah. Like A24, they're the same people. We're just on a movie tangent now.
I imagine A24 is a new Mercedes, hadn't I?
Yeah. The Mercedes A24 also did Werewolf by Night. Like, they're just actually a cool movie studio, I guess. Like, actually do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently had a minuscule budget, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And only 5 people making it. But right, tow truck in Transformers. There's a cool scene where it hooks onto the skyline, turns around and rockets out of the... I never know what they're called. The thing that sticks out the hood. Rockets out of that. It's the thing that... A blower? I barely know her.
A skyline with a blower on it?
What? The tow truck had a air intake thing sticking out.
Okay.
There's a cool scene with that, I guess. And there's a lot of transforming. Visually, it looks 10 times better than those old ones, like the first few Transformers. Oh my god, never mind. Actually, there's a big eagle one, which just looks so off-putting. Actually, I'll put it on screen. I don't believe the video. It won't be on for the podcast, but this just for copyright.
Why are they walking out of the water like Pacific Rim?
That. Oh no, actually.
I would. No, there's
Never
no
mind.
way. That looks like something off like CBBC.
I was gonna say like a niche MMO game, like a League of Legends.
I think it's the fur. Why has it got fur?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's got fur. But I don't know if the cast is oozing charisma. I suppose. I guess we'll only know that once we're in the movie. Mirage
does that pink one have glasses? Go back to where you just were.
One of the middle ones. There's the pink one. There's Mirage. Then there's a maroon.
That pink one with glasses, I can tell is going to be the most annoying character ever written.
It's like
I can just tell by looking at them.
I'll put the still on screen. You know what it reminds me of? Making them look so human like that. Do you remember the Albert Einstein one from one of the movies that they made weirdly look so much like?
Yeah.
Like that one was bad. It reminds me of that. Giving him glasses. How are you a robot but have bad eyesight? How does that work?
It literally makes no sense. And they've given him glasses just so they can be the nerdy character.
Exactly.
You can tell.
He looks like a nerd emoji.
You can tell the writing is going to be so bad.
Like it's gonna be the one-liners. It's gonna be like the actually from this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? But it might just be kind of good. Through all that, if there's not too much of that, the aesthetics look nice, the CGI is good, the story
Apart from
has
the
to
ego.
be... Oh yeah, true. The story has to be serviceable, and the rest of it is sure, it'll be 10 times better as a brain-off watch than Fast and Furious will, or Fast X will. Because Fast X,
Fast X has the expectation of a car movie. There's no expectation getting into this.
This is an action movie with cars. the Fast and Furious is a car movie with action minus the cars double on the action. But you know what? This will be interesting to see. Transformers.
Does the gorilla
and Fast and
have
Furious.
orange eyes?
It's got green eyes. It's got bright green eyes. Same with all of
Get
the.
into COD Zombies lore.
Yeah. Mirage is like a Porsche.
Who is that?
I don't actually know, frankly. I think he just he transported out of nowhere.
Looks so goofy.
Yeah.
Why is it so big?
They've sort of like, I don't know if I like it or not, but it's good overall. But they're leaning heavy into the cartoonish designs, right? Like if you look at Optimus, you look at Optimus Primal, like that. If you look at that, like that face there.
It looks so done. Like
yeah, like they're going heavy into the cartoonish designs, which I think everyone has been doing now. Because
that eagle is atrocious.
Yeah, no, it is. Like when all the Marvel movies were coming up, okay, Pacific Rim reference.
It really is.
When all of I'll leave that there. When all of like superheroes were getting big and whatnot, the style, right, was to take their original comic design and over-design it. Put pockets and
they
stripes
had the Gen, like, surely they saw the reception, because in Bumblebee, they had the Gen 1. Yeah. Surely they see the reception to that and then just make them Gen 1 in the next film.
That's what this is, right? But they've gone a bit too hard into it.
They took Gen 1, the silhouette, and that was it.
Yeah. No, to be fair, it's just the outline, and then it's still got the over-designed, right? Like, Marvel's kind of finally realized that, like, they've doubled back. Spider-Man's got a plain outfit now. Everyone's got a plain outfit now.
Look at the top of the eagle's head compared to the background. This is so clearly just photoshopped in. Like, what?
Yeah.
The lighting's off. The colors are off. It's a different resolution.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Wow, how is that one part so bad?
Yeah, like, the rest of it, like, that... Never mind. What's happened to his face? What happened to his face?
What are you like
for the
this?
audio listeners, it's Optimus Prime, but he's making the Andrew Tate face.
What?
What happened to him?
Why is his nose so big?
They took Optimus Prime's chin. No.
He put on his nose by the looks of it. Like, I don't know what's going on.
You know what's hilarious, right? If you turn that into a human face, you've seen 50 of those people on TikTok. Like, with that exact face shape.
It's so... Yeah, I don't like the new designs, but
How
sure.
has it gotten worse? Because that looks like a video game. That's a video game. Like, that to me looks like it could be a cutscene in a modern, like, released today Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine would look better. Video game. I don't know what it is about it. I think the lighting is odd. It doesn't look metal. It looks rubbery. Like, oh, this was what I was talking about. There's a skyline which looks pretty cool. The proportions of that look off, but I wouldn't know.
Oh, that doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. And is it still technically a prequel? Because Bumblebee's that car, right? So is it... So, like, what, does Optimus...
I don't know where this fits in the storyline.
Exactly. Because you see Optimus land, don't you? You see him land, see a truck, and then decide, I'll be that truck. But now he's Gen 1. And then what, does he leave? Untruck, come back and decide, actually, I'll go into the Michael Bay films now. Like, where's the... the skyline looks pretty cool, I guess, sure. The skyline's pretty sick. The Mirage is cool, I guess. I'll get videos out of it. That's a video game cutscene or some 12-year-old's wallpaper. Probably both. But that's actually... I can see that on Wallpaper Engine. Like, it just needs, like, an ambient, like, particle effect.
Yeah.
And then it's on Wallpaper Engine. But, yeah, what did they do to Optimus's face? What did they do to it?
Why is he so smooth?
Yeah. His eyes, you can tell, are just superimposed there and then cut out. Am I crazy? Or the eyes don't look like they're in his head?
It doesn't, no. Like, none of it looks right. I don't...
What has happened to the CGI? I guess being at nighttime helps this one. Sure, nighttime and rain. Like, this, yeah.
It's got a life hack.
Exactly. I just, like... this movie, it's still got a chance to be good. Hopefully,
driving scene. No.
I'll hope it's just YouTube compression. Also, is that Mirage? Why does he look so odd? That's a Porsche somewhere in there. Like, what? That's a Porsche. Oh, are those the headlights? I guess they are. Where's the rest of the Porsche?
I mean, there's the fan. I was using an air-cooled 911. I suppose that's the fan.
Is that the clock on the inside of the interior on the...
That's the fan for the air-cooled in the back.
Which I love how it's Mini and Porsche are the two companies that do the like main center clock on the inside. Two just completely wildly different companies. Just Mini and Porsche.
And Citroen.
Oh, do they? I've never seen that, I guess. Well, I don't see many Citroens is why. No, it probably does. This guy, this was some guy of some kind. I have no idea what he's transforming from, but he transforms from something. Why does it look like an S15? It looks kind of cool, frankly. Visually, Transformers was always a cool thing. I guess it's maybe the movie that Optimus.
That is such a Pacific Rim reference.
Yeah. Like the Optimus shot followed straight with just like a Pacific Rim reference. Like, sure. You know what? This movie might...
That ego's atrocious. That was an intern like doing one day on CGI.
It might be serviceable. You got the nerd emoji character, a guy with like Crash Bandicoot.
What is this big spaceship reference? Where is this coming in?
What is it, like the Omnitrix or whatever his name is? Like I've
forgotten my lore.
Yeah, he probably eats the planet or something. Because I feel like I remember one of the lines.
Just copying the second film storyline.
I think the line is like, "Oh, he eats a planet. So how big is he? Bigger than a planet." And that was one of the one-liners in this.
So it's the second film, but again.
Yeah.
Instead of the sun, it's the planet.
Yep. And Optimus says like a really violent line.
That is a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, it probably will be. No, it probably will be. Yeah, sure. Whatever. It'll be better than Fast and Furious. So, you know what? Sure. It'll be better than Fast and Furious at least. Ugh. What a movie though. What a movie. What a movie. When did either of those come out?
Fast is no.
You said it was like it's a few days before my girlfriend's birthday, so like
I don't remember saying this, but
and Transformers Rise of the Beasts is 9th of June. 9th of June?
It's next month.
That's only a month away, yeah. Okay. Was it going to be, instead of that, it's going to be that or You Be Forward, which, that's going to be a hard one. Pete Davidson's in it. Mirage is Pete Davidson. Liza
He plays the
Koshy.
Glasses character.
I don't know his name, but I'll look. Liza Koshy plays the woman, I think. Since when does Liza Koshy do voice acting? What? She's one of those YouTuber womans.
I've got no idea.
She had a really bad show at one point.
This car theme podcast is just going off. I've got no idea.
It's just a movie podcast now.
Yeah. My GCSE and film will have.
I wouldn't know his name. Peter Dinklage plays someone called Scourge. There's a Wheeljack, which is Cristiano Fernandez. Reek, there's someone called Reek. Michelle Yeoh, which is the Everything Everywhere All at Once lady. She's in this. Optimus Primal is such a that's. Sure, the rest of them are just like I assume voice actors, so I wouldn't know them. But from that incredibly movie topic of a car podcast, what else can we talk about? Formula E protests. I only saw I'll tell you what I've seen.
Oh.
And you can fill in the gaps, I suppose. All I've seen from this was that there was protests. It was at Formula E. Someone being like, of all of the ones to protest at, the one that is electric. And I think then there was like an engine exploding. And someone was like, is this to do with the French protests?
Engine exploding was F1. The FE protest was people have nothing better to do.
So obviously in politics, France is crumbling currently, so stuff's going on there.
Well, isn't it?
Honestly, it's impressive. Like, are they going... Like, they must make, like, a sport out of civil wars. How are they so quick to surrender when it's outside of France, but as soon as it's in France, everyone whips out the muskets? Like,
they are a really bad geological disadvantage, to be fair, when it comes to anyone outside.
I guess so. What, they're, like, right next to, like...
They're surrounded by Germany, Spain. Is it Spain already? Well, European geography is bad. Greece, I think. I don't know, they got everyone around them.
And I guess all of that anger, because they surrender, it just bounce off the outside and just intense wars on the inside.
I mean, it is justified protest. They tried to raise the retirement age, but there was no votes on it. It just not even Parliament voted on it. The president just decided one day, he woke up and was like, yeah, I'm going to sign this.
Oh, absolutely. Protest that. No, for sure. Honestly, I mean, one thing I say is that, like, God, this podcast is getting a bit too political. One thing I say is, to get anything done, make it affect the politicians. Done. Like, there you go. Like, that's how you'd have to get it.
Didn't they burn down a courthouse or something?
Well, maybe don't, like, burn down stuff, right? But, like, and I don't mean affect them as in, like, clock them around the head. I mean, like, inconvenience politicians is what I mean, okay? I'm not inciting anything. If you want something to be done, inconvenience politicians. There you go. That's how you get stuff done. But yeah, so there was protests going on for that, but then, so where was this Formula? So that's all I know.
I don't know where the race was.
Yeah.
But, like, why one or two people just climbed the fence and sat in front of the starting grid. That's it.
Oh, so that's what happened in the F1 race. They were protesting the pits. That must have been what it was. Oh wait, have we talked about that boring as hell race? Oh, we'll talk about that in the Motorsports segment then, I guess.
Yeah.
The one where everyone stood in front of whoever going into the pits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the car that caught fire. But...
Oh, there you go. So that's what that was.
Yeah.
It looks like it was. I'm looking at news right now. Carry on, though.
I mean, it was such a nothing protest. They just got picked up and dragged out of the way in like 15 seconds. It was...
Oh, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
It wasn't even a protest. It was more of just someone's on the track. Someone's no longer on the track.
It was just a protest, but they were wearing a funny shirt, I guess, right? Like,
yeah.
I suppose, the images from Fox News, I suppose the, again, it's like, why the one electric one? Why the one? Go to Formula 1 and do it. Why the one electric
The Cura F1 is ridiculous. There's no way.
Oh, well, there you go. Because it's like, yeah, to pick the one, like, surely there's some niche one that unironically does have the most emissions or something.
I mean, technically Formula E isn't carbon neutral because they fly the planes to get the cars everywhere and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
But, like...
I imagine it's closer to it than F1 is.
Yeah.
Because I imagine the point of Formula E existing in the first place was, partially...
The racing itself is carbon neutral, is the point of Formula E.
Yeah, exactly, right. I imagine at the beginning it was like, look, the future, but also healthy, right? But, like... Healthy for the world, Josh. Well, I would like to make the world healthy. Because if you treat the world like a good friend, then you'll want to look after it. That was utter nonsense, but they should use that. I waffled that out of my ass just then. But and it was cringe as hell. But they should use that. That was great, actually.
I mean, it shows you how narrow the Formula E cars are. Like, they're tiny compared to F1 cars.
Yeah. They look kind of cool, though. Someone did mention we've got news on a crew update, which we're going to be talking about today as well.
What?
They made announcements of the next update, USB till next.
They do this when I'm asleep, I swear.
But people have said that they just look like Formula E, but what's it called? With engines. Formula E, kind of cool. I talked about this just a bit before the podcast, where it's like, I kind of don't get why they didn't just make Formula 1 electric. I feel like that would have a lot more buzz.
The race, Formula 1's not a spec series.
I know that one.
Nice.
What? Yeah, what'd you
Formula
say?
E is closer to Formula 2 than it is Formula 1, really.
I guess, yeah.
There's no real aerodynamics involved. Like, they've got no real wings.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they're
there's
all
no,
the same car, right?
it's a spec
Okay,
series.
yeah.
All the cars the exact same. Aerodynamic, like you can lose a front wing and still get top 10. Like
Which, as
aerodynamics
you
doesn't
said,
matter on these
is
cars.
a lot more enjoyable to watch. Like, a lot
Yeah.
more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, spec series always will be.
I
The
mean,
racing will always be closer in a spec series than
yeah. Here's the
non-spec
thing,
series.
though. Surely, if they, I reckon. Okay, I'm just gonna go into a tangent here, right? Next 10 years or so, if I was the director of the FIA or whoever does Formula One or whatever, right?
You'd be #1 most hated person in motorsport, but yeah, go
Sure.
ahead.
And this should either help or reinforce that, right? Soon, couple up all of the people, all of the teams. Tell them all to do a fancy new logo redesign. And then, if once this like big Formula One hype dies down, go, right, we're making them all electric. Still have them be different cars, still have them be individually designed, but make it like the next generation of Formula One. And then have them all make like new brand logo or team logos. Like, don't have to change the name, but just refresh all the team logos, make them have to be electric cars. People will get mad about it and thus watch it.
You don't understand how mad people already are about the next regulation changes. But
Yeah, but I feel like because it's not
your house will be petrol bomb. There is no.
It's not a. The thing is, it's not a regulation though. It's the whole thing. But just tell them to keep the same outward design and just make it like throw in a few more neon things, right? Tell them to redesign the liveries to look a bit more neon-esque, right? And then, yeah, tell them to keep doing what they're doing, keep the same visual outwards design, and then let it slowly become more aerodynamic based on the new weight distribution and everything. And then, there you go, and then dub it the next generation of Formula One, and have them all be electric. Because I reckon they all get made electric at some point. Formula One, that is. Because
they're gonna run on e-fuel before they run on electricity.
Oh, I guess, yeah, sure.
They're slowly up in the ethanol more and more every regulation change.
Yeah, but clearly they know I'd be right, and that would be. I reckon there would be so much extreme buzz about that I reckon it would. I reckon it would bang. I reckon it would bang.
Teams would leave. Like, teams would leave.
Would they?
There's already only 10 teams on the grid at the minute.
Oh, was there more before?
Well, most of them are only there for engine development.
Yeah.
Ford's only joining for engine development. Renault are only there for engine development. Mercedes, I don't think really care, to be honest. They've got too much money.
Red Bull, the same, I imagine.
Red Bull use Honda engines. Honda would pull out immediately.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Oh, I guess you'd have to wait till all those companies are also doing EV stuff individually, right? To be fair, okay, 2035 onwards, like 2040, I could see this happening. But then at that point, there's no point in me talking about it, so it's like, sure, whatever. Because, yeah, once every new car has to be EV in general, I reckon by then
they might not have to be EV is the issue if Germany are successful in pushing through e-fuel regulation.
Oh, is that what they're trying to do? Oh.
Germany actually threatened the EU because everyone in the EU has to sign these bills to get put through.
Yeah.
They're banning combustion cars. Germany will actually just say, no, we won't sign it if you don't allow e-fuel for production of combustion cars.
See, the thing is, the EU is very, very stubborn. I reckon the EU will just firm it. I reckon they will just be like, yeah, okay, and then just firm it, because it's a call your bluff, right? Germany will lose out on a lot of sales, and the EU will lose out on a lot of cars being imported to the rest of the EU. So it's just a who's gonna call the bluff first, right?
I think the EU folded immediately.
Oh, have they folded already, or?
I will have a quick check, but as far as I remember, they folded immediately.
So what does that mean? Everything will be hybrid and electric only, or?
Yeah, they immediately drafted new plans to allow sale of combustion engines if they use e-fuel.
Oh, so it's not even like, it's not even hybrid.
You could buy a Vauxhall Astra as it is today, but it runs on e-fuel instead of normal petrol.
What's the Is it a different car? Does it have to be made differently, or is it?
No, it just has to have a sensor that says, "Yep, this is e-fuel. Good to go."
Oh, so does e-fuel work as in like Does e-fuel work?
It just works as petrol. It's just petrol, but
as in
it's
like a petrol
carbon
car,
neutral.
you could just put e-fuel in, or
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, well, never mind then. This whole fafa, like the first, what episode are we on? The first, okay, why can I not see it easily?
21.
Please. Can you do something for me? The first 23 episodes.
That was outrageous.
The first 23 episodes of the Stick Drift podcast are now useless. That this is just not gonna go through anyway. Whatever, I guess, man, whatever. Companies are weird, the EU is weird. Imagine being so pro-consumer and then instantly crumbling like that. Pretty cringe. But we shall be jumping through some quick bits of news till we go into the final segment of the Stick Drift podcast. We have simple things such as 2 new Alpines. These will be on screen as we talk about them. There was the hill climb version.
There's a hill climb one for Pikes Peak this year.
And that one just looked like... And everyone was being like, hey, look, Pikes Peak, better than F1. And they might just be right, they might just be right. But why don't they make Pikes Peak but a race? That wouldn't be deadly
Because it's just a road.
I guess. But the hill climb version of it, it's got the big spoilers and stuff, which I guess it looks kind of cool. But it's an Alpine with big spoilers. It's a Summit Alpine. Like, to be fair, the fact that we don't have the Alpine in the Crew 2 is unfortunate. The Alpine's a cool car. But I like the newer Alpine. The new Alpine looks really nice.
It is cool. It's a lot of money for what it is. But yeah.
Well,
I don't know where they get the money for this stuff from, because they sell like 5 cars a year.
Probably investors, I guess. I don't know.
There's no way Renault are throwing this much money at them.
They probably make so much money everywhere else that you can have a loss center in a business. Yeah, it's probably just like, this is something we really
Is that tax write-off?
Yeah, no, unironically, it probably is, yeah. Like, that's a definite loss. That's a whole center of the business that would act as its own company and would be making a loss on its own, so would claim all of that back. And I imagine all that claim back goes up to Renault. I imagine that's how that would work.
I was going to say, for how much advertising they do having an F1 team doing all this, they only have 1 car. Exactly. They won't only have 1 car for long.
Yeah, and the hill climb version, which looks very cool. What does it have a name? How am I searching this?
Oh, I'm going to have to dig this up. The Alpine A290.
The Alpine...
I don't know, because it's got the A110. I wanted to do the A220. That would have made much more sense. Or the A120.
Why has it got like the fancy B at the end? Wait. No, this must be a concept.
It's the Renault 5 with Alpine.
Wait, it is that? It's just that?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's like, wait, is it electric?
It's a render at the minute, but that's what it's meant to look like.
But is it
yeah, it's fully EV. It's the Renault 5,
yeah,
but it's the Alpine like ultra high performance version.
Well, it looks a bit bulkier too, but it's
wider, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, it's a bit of height off of being an SUV.
It really is too close to being an SUV, but yeah.
But that's really cool, though. Why are Alpine such a cool company, man? Like, that's a good Renault that Renault themselves aren't making. So Alpine just went, fine, we'll make it. Is this going to be production? Or...
by the looks of it, yeah. It's going to use the front motor from the Renault Megane E-Tech.
Yep, this is from Autocar, the image and whatnot. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, they're just cobbling together a Renault 5 and a more powerful motor.
Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be production. So that's going to be... So Alpine are going to have a hill climb, that cool sedan thing, which is just that's the A110 or something.
Yeah.
And then
it's a 2-door sports car. It's 2-seater.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So a 2-door sports car, a hatchback, a decent legacy in that classic 2-door sports car, and then a Pikes Peak and an F1 team. Alpine is a goated company. Like Alpine is just they've got an F1 team, two-door sports, cool looking hatch, and that okay, Alpine. You know what? If the T20 didn't exist, Alpine might get. You know what? I'll give Alpine the best brand of 2027 currently. They can win the Stick Drift Award for that. Alpine, pretty cool. Moving on from Alpine to Cupra, two new Cupras, one render of something that the other one wasn't a render, right?
The render is Cupra's. They want to make a sports car.
Yeah.
Which means they're never going to. And then there's a Cupra SUV EV thing.
Oh. SUV. How is there no like pun?
SUV with a V, like just V at the end.
Yeah. SUEV. Whoa. I can't find it.
The Cupra Tuscvan.
The Tuscvan, which one's that? That's the SUV?
The SUV. TAV scan.
Cupra
Have a scan.
Oh, Tavascan. God, it sounds like a toothpaste. Oh, Gaviscon is what I'm thinking of. Which isn't a toothpaste. That looks kind of...
It's an ID4 with...
Is it?
With a different body.
It looks better than an ID4. It looks a lot better than
an ID4. All of
ID4.
Cupras are. The Cupra Born's an ID3 with a different body on it.
Yeah. It definitely looks way, way better than an ID whatever, though. And then like a two-door? Was it... What was the other thing?
It's not got a name on it. It's just a sleek two-door sports car from Cupra. Imagine a Supra with a wide body and Cupra angular headlights and bodywork.
Well, care when it exists, I guess. Sure. Then there is Jag is going to be making its final non-EV vehicle. E-vehicle, if you will. That will be the... Is that what EV stands for? Is it electric vehicle? Is that what EV...
What do you think it stood for?
I never thought about it. I mean, I knew E was like, I guess, electric, and then everyone used that.
Electric versus C, I don't know.
I just never thought. I just thought it was EV. Like, I just thought that's all it was. Just EV. Oh!
Just made a revelation today.
Electric vehicle. That makes so much sense. Right. Jag switching to EVs, which I think oh wait, they're ending the F-Type, right? What else do they do? Like
they've got a crossover.
Sedans and SUVs.
They've got like it's basically an F-Type but sedan. I think it's the exact same platform. And then they've got an SUV, which I think is also the same platform.
I reckon it won't be the F-Type, but they'll have an F-Type replacement.
They're going up market as well. They're closing 40 dealerships as well.
Oh, okay. Wait, what does that mean? As in they're making themselves more expensive?
They want to compete with Bentley, I think, was their wording.
Oh, okay. So they're doing like a BMW, I guess.
Yeah.
But then at least BMW goes back to being BMW. If they're just switching to that, this is going to be a choice for sure.
Jaguar also races in Formula E, so I'm never going to find her.
No. But yeah, you know what? Sure, I reckon if they do make another sports car, I reckon that will be cool. It's not exactly competing with Bentley, but if they do make another sports car to replace the F-Type, sure, and then also do...
If they make sports cars, because Jaguar race in Formula E, so they have... It would be a missed opportunity to not release like a Formula E edition,
exactly,
ultra high performance.
Yeah,
EV.
It's just I don't know if they're gonna do I don't know if they're gonna switch to being Bentley competitor because they're not that right. Like they do. I swear, there's a Jag SUV. There must be, right?
There is. It's the I-Pace or E-Pace.
Exactly, right. So like, if there's already a Jag SUV, I reckon that. Oh, that's disgusting. I reckon. They have no right. They can't sell that SUV. Okay, no, it looks kind of alright depending on the lighting. It's simple. It's inoffensive. They can't sell that and also compete with Bentley.
Yeah, Jaguar, in quotation mark, wants to compete with Bentley, and prices can go up. Prices will more than likely go up over £100,000 per car.
Yeah, but then like if you think of the Jaguar XE, That's not a Bentley car. That's the most mundane sedan I've ever seen.
And they want to fight them with EVs. That's why they're switching to EV.
I guess a Bentley not EV yet, because I know Rolls
No.
is. Oh.
So they have like a W12. No, they're not EV.
Oh. But yeah. Oh, that's the point of them, right? Like, wasn't there like a V16 that they had a while ago?
Yeah, they just have like Bugatti engines in a big SUV.
They're just the American, but a posh British guy. Like, but sure, you know what? Sure, I respect it.
Yeah, they want the average car to have a starting price of £100,000.
Yeah.
They don't have any right.
Well, yeah.
They're not going to sell. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Why would you buy a £150,000 Jaguar?
They're like an Audi.
A car known for
Yeah.
its unreliability,
Yeah.
poor build quality.
Because they're like an Audi, right? Or like a BMW, where they do all the generic stuff, except they do a bit less of the generic stuff. But they do all the generic stuff, and then maybe have an R8, maybe have an i8.
I mean, Jaguars sell no cars these days.
Yeah.
Like, they struggle. On that thing I was just on, they sold 9,000 cars in 2022.
Well, because they went the wrong direction. Because Jaguar was what? E-Type, F-Type, and then
They were
went
always a
downwards.
luxury brand. They
Yeah.
were always luxury.
But then they went downwards, right? Then they've only got like a slightly above average sedan, slightly above average plain looking SUV. Like, they went down from that prestige, and now they're trying to slingshot past further that prestige. Actually, no, I don't even know if like Bentley is the prestige of like an E-Type back in the day, I guess. But yeah, they went the wrong way. They trickled down, and now they're trying to trickle their way back up. That's not how gravity works, unfortunately. But
They've lost market share that they're never getting back.
yeah, because
They need to focus on making fun, affordable cars. It's the only way they'd stay in business.
especially getting rid of the F-Type, right? Like, the only Jags... I don't focus on seeing any Jags, I guess, but like the F-Type...
Well, they don't exist, is
Yeah.
the issue.
But I notice when I see an F-Type. Like, I'll be like, oh, that's an F-Type. Because I see a decent number of those. And when I see any other Jag, I don't go, oh, it's the XE. Yay, whoa.
Their sedan, I couldn't tell you what it's called. It exists.
The XE, yeah, I didn't know either.
Is it the XE?
I saw it on Google. It's this, like, painfully mundane sedan.
Jesus.
That's a Jaguar. Like, that's the
That
same
has to
company
be a reskin.
that made... Yeah, looks it. No. But that's the same company that made that. Like, look at how plain and inoffensive the E-Pace is, right? Like, that looks so completely plain. It's completely inoffensive. It's weird. To go from the F-Type and the E-Type to trickle down and then now go, oh, whoopsie, and try and artificially make your way back up.
I just don't see why it's just bad. Like, it's...
Yeah, I reckon they try, they might be slightly successful, but, like, maybe they're not successful, and that would be funny, I think. Oh, well. It's just... Oh, does the E-Pace look like an F-Type from the back? That's disgusting. It's like a... Oh, that's terrible. It's like a massive F-Type, and it looks gross, because it's the back of an F-Type.
Why does it have exhausts when it's an EV?
Does it? Oh, yeah. Because Jaguar. Because Jaguar, I guess.
They are really... Like, they top 10 falls from grace of all time.
Yeah. It's unfortunate too. It's unfortunate as well. But on that note, I guess that is all there is to talk about for the Stick Trip
I mean, there's
podcast.
like 8 million other topics, but there's no time, really.
Yeah, for the main topics at
Be
least.
like 3 hours long.
We can catch up with a fair few of those. Give me a minute. How could there we go. Right, yes. The final segments of the Stick Drift podcast, the gaming segment and the Motorsports Monday segment, with the racing games being... We'll jump back to the Crew 2, but the weeklies of the Crew 2 currently is the Brawn vs. Beauty Summit, with the return of the Ferrari F12 TDF. On top of that, they are going into a new update, which has been announced to be US Speed Tour Next, as a futuristic Alpha Grand Prix, utilizing Alpha Grand Prix update, utilizing the new map that they put onto the map, the new island that they placed onto the map. On top of that, Forza Horizon has... See, I'm scrolling and I still haven't... Okay, I'm just going to assume this is the most recent thing. The Summer Hurricane STO as the exclusive reward, and the KTM Expo GT4 as the hard to find reward. I don't know what the name of the season is. It for sure is a season, though. I don't know. I have no idea. I need to pay more attention to Forza.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I imagine. Spring, what is that, Spring? That's the last one that they did, the Neon JDM one or something. And they're doing something right now. I don't know. The STO. Maybe they're doing like an STO themed season. I'm not sure. Who knows? They did add a cool car recently, though. I don't know what it is. Is it a Porsche of some kind? Inspired by Porsche's legendary 935 Le Mans race car. It's this thing. This thing's pretty cool looking, honestly. Why is it open like that? Why is it open in Opera GX? I didn't.
Oh yeah, they've got that, and then they're gonna have the Mission R as well. The Porsche Mission R is gonna be the last week.
Yeah, Porsche Mission. Oh, but yeah, this thing's really cool looking. Honest. Oh, the Mission R also really cool looking. These are Porsches. Like what? This one, sure, maybe. The Mission R, what?
Mission R's cool. It's like a Le Mans LMP1 style car, but
why don't they
road legal?
Is it road legal?
I think they're making a few road legal.
See, why don't they tone it down and then release like a general model that looks like close to it at least?
It would cost like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds.
I guess. What are you gonna have to pay one artist a $5?
Yeah, £5 to design and make it. The rest is profit.
Yeah. That's some good profit margins, I'll tell you that much. The overhead absorption rate on that one's going to be insane.
It's quite good.
But that's pretty cool. They're doing that. And then the Mission R, pretty sick. Motorfest, we shall be talking about as well.
Is Motorfest loose?
Yes, because a month ago, they announced that they are entering their third phase of testing. And the updates from that was... They said that the off-road handling had been improved, and they're increasing the player count, and they said that new game modes were well received. I believe that was the gist of all of that update. We'll be seeing more news on Motorfest soon as we enter this new month. It's probably going to be around the middle of the month that we start seeing actual information, but in the meantime, we got the new trailer a teaser for the upcoming update, which is US Speed Tour Next, like I described, focused on Alpha Grand Prix with futuristic racing on the new island. It's got boosters and whatnot. It looks pretty cool. The cars look, as I said, people describe them as like Formula E, but with engines. And we only have like 13 seconds of it. Of course, on the main channel, the link will be in the description. Check out the channel. There's going to be early content of that. It looks pretty cool, though.
It looks quite cool, yeah.
And it's completely out of nowhere compared to what Episode 1 was. This is the first time that, if you don't know the Crew 2, they have a very big habit of making the second update of an update. It's just the same but off-road, or the same but a different color scheme. And the same but snow. This time around, for the first time ever, Episode 2 is something completely different. It's only the same by name, which, pretty cool. We'll just have to see. And I guess it's got endurance events as well, as was said in the patch notes for the first update. It'll be out very soon. Good. I mean, yes, there's been a bit of backlash on that. Also, like I was saying, normal version of the Porsche. It looks cool. See, this guy's already designed it. Give him a $5 and then sell the car. That's a road version. It's
That's still a £1 million plus car.
Oh, they can sell it for $2 million. Just give me one free. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I wonder what the insurance would be where you left for that.
Yeah, but time for me to fight the urge to zone out and actually listen every single week.
Oh,
Motorsports Monday.
I talk about I didn't talk about F1 last week, did I? I'm gonna have to bring up some.
Well, there was the crash. We can just go on like the
one?
big topics. There was more. Oh, didn't a Red Bull car get crashed and then someone's engine blew up or something?
This is a long time ago. This is last week.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I believe, because it was right after the F1 protest.
I don't think there was a Red Bull crash. I don't think.
Well, there was a hole in a Red Bull car that I saw.
Oh, yeah. In free practice 1, because there was only one free practice last weekend because they changed the thing. Free practice 1. Is that about Ocon or Gasly? Ocon. Gasly's car caught fire. That's the one that you talked about earlier. It just, because, I don't know, it's French, it gave up, because as they do.
See, Gasly just makes me think of Nigel Gearsley from Cars.
Gasly?
So, but
It was, yeah.
Yeah. There was that. Oh, obviously, I guess I'll just chuck it in here quick. Obviously, the Formula E protests and whatever. But then, yeah.
Gasly car caught fire. Then there was qualifying. This was last week. There's no way I remember the qualifying place, but there was qualifying for the main race on Sunday. Then on the Saturday there was a qualifying for the sprint, and then during the sprint on the Saturday, George Russell it's basically a 50-50 racing incident. Really, it was not that big of a deal, but then Max went up to him and called him a bad word, and then the media was like,
Oh.
And now it's like, George Russell this week said Max threw his dummy out the pram or something. I don't know. Average British moment.
Yeah. Well, is Max young? I swear he is. I guess all of them are.
26.
Yeah. Which I guess. I don't know whether to consider that. I don't know if for myself I want to consider that young or old yet.
Sargent binned it in qualifying for the sprint, actually.
Yeah.
I've got to get in there because he is doing terribly this weekend.
Sargent's, he's the new Latifi, right?
He is the new Latifi, yeah. Well, he's not, is the issue.
Yeah.
He is either insanely rapid, matching Albon on pace.
Yeah.
Or he's in a wall.
Yeah.
There's no in between. He can be good. I don't know if it's just the Williams is that bad, but Albon's been there long enough so he understands how the car works. Because even Albon had a massive spin race 2.
Yeah.
But the results for that last race, which was a snooze fest, by the way. There was 15 overtakes the entire race. Were Perez, Verstappen, Leclerc, Alonso, and then the rest of it's just...
Oh, which I guess we should talk about. There was a lot of backlash for the race. Was there not? There was...
there was more backlash than usual. It's usually quite... it's usually a mid-race. It's usually, there's some decent overtakes, decent racing.
Yeah.
But they were hyping up this new qualifying format as, load more action, load more fun. But it's one of the least overtakes you've ever had in a race.
Yeah.
Because they shortened the DRS zone, so there's a lot less overtaking on straights now on that track. So it was just a snooze fest.
So I was going to say, because surely it's 10,000 times riskier to overtake on a turn. So if you can't overtake on a straight, then obviously...
you can't really overtake on a turn in these F1 cars unless you dive bomb on the brakes.
Exactly, which I guess they're more entertaining was just they assumed every racer would be dumb enough to do that every turn. If you're just stopping them
they
from
couldn't.
overtaking on straight.
Every other car is so different from the others. There's no real competition on that track, at least.
F1 is... You know what? It could be good if it was 3 races a year.
Because usually when there's a dull race like that, you've got strategy to kind of make it more interesting.
Yeah.
2 cars went 50 laps on the same hard tyres.
Yeah.
There was no real strategy needed. You could just one-stop so comfortably. It was unbelievable.
And then there was an issue which I saw a lot about, was people shutting down the pit lane as the race is going on and being stood in front of an F1 car coming in, or whatever it was.
In Australia last year, it happened with Albon, because he pitted on the last lap, and I'd assume the FIA just brained it enough to be like, who would pit on the last lap? It's only a race. And then close the pit lane.
Yeah.
And they've done it again this year on Azerbaijan track because they thought no one would pit on the last lap again.
Why? Like, why? You could wait one lap. Like, it's not like, surely it's not like they're going home after that. Surely it's not they go onto the track, put the stop, and then go home. Surely that's not what it is.
It's FIA moment,
like,
really.
Yeah, but like, well, I don't get it. I don't get why are they bad. I don't understand, man. Sometimes I'm glad I don't watch F1, but sometimes I'm like, huh.
I mean, free practice yesterday was interesting. Only because Sargent's doing bad. He was 7/10 off Albon, free practice 1. And he was a full second off Albon in free practice 2 and last.
Nah.
So, Williams haven't had a single weekend this season where they haven't crashed into something or someone. Race 1, Albon rear-ended someone. He got front wing damage for qualifying, which were in their race weekend. Race 2, Sargent put it in a wall because he was pushing too hard. Race 3, Albon put it in a wall because he was pushing too hard. I don't know why I don't even remember what race we're on, to be honest, at this point. It's just such a boring season so far. But this race... Well, last weekend, Sargent crashed in qualifying. And then this weekend... So I reckon Sargent's going to push too hard in quali and put it in the wall.
Yeah.
Because it's another street circuit.
Which
it's funny. It's funny how bad Williams are.
I don't understand. F1 got really popular out of nowhere, and then now it's just
It got popular because there was a competitive season.
Yeah, and then now everyone's kind of being like, wait a minute, actually. It's like everyone decided they'd always liked F1, and then now I reckon in the next 2 years everyone's gonna re-decide that they've always hated F1.
F1's never been close, is the issue. Like, that 2021 season was the closest the racing will ever be between two teams.
Yeah.
Like, maybe 2008 it was equally close, but even then it was still pretty much confirmed against the final race. Verstappen will win this season, Perez will be second, and if nothing happens, Alonso will be third.
It kind of feels like F1 is only really popular because it's been here for a while, and the characters, the Verstappen, the Hamilton, the Verstappen,
If Aston Martin didn't make breakthroughs this year and go from like last to third, they're a second best team. They went from literally worst team to second best team on the grid.
Well, yeah,
but it's such a shame that they can't compete at the front, really, because everyone else, like Red Bull, are just that quick.
Yeah. If Alonso didn't Alonso, we would just be and if you didn't decide to start watching MotoGP, we would just be sat here going, I mean, there was a race, there was overtakes,
I didn't even bother watching MotoGP last weekend. I don't think I'm going to bother watching it. This British Touring Car's on this weekend, so I'm not even going to bother.
Exactly. It's like there's not much of anything left to do, really.
Formula E, I watched that just before recording this. That was unironically good.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Because it was on Monaco, which people want off the F1 calendar because there are no overtakes.
Yeah.
Well, this Formula E race proves it's not the track's fault. What, the winner of this race came from ninth on the grid to win in Monaco is insane. Like, absolutely, couldn't happen in F1. It just physically couldn't happen because the cars are too big. And there was 116 overtakes. It's just unheard of.
I say we all switch to Formula E. That's what I say. If everyone started watching
F1 cars need to be Formula E size. The cars are too big in F1.
Is the size make them more efficient? Or
Well, no, they're just gotten bigger and bigger. I'd assume due to safety.
yeah.
But if you like F1's size comparison, I hope this takes me to the cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could just Google F1 size comparison, you can just see how much bigger the cars have gotten over the years. Like, it's insane. And they're only going to get bigger.
The
Because
money
they have
for the sport too. Like
because before it was just an engine with some wheels. Now you've got hybrid systems.
yeah.
All that, like, look how much bigger they are.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it's insane.
shocking. Oh god, it looks like it's this like generation of F1 cars. Like you can see in the okay, why is that?
Nice.
Okay, whatever then, I guess.
Ultra HD.
Yeah.
But they've gotten way too big. They can't race on small circuits anymore.
And the fact that one team can just have a really good car and done. Now you can't do anything anymore because
Going back to 1960s cars, am I right? Yeah.
Exactly. Bring back the old F1.
Tin can on wheels, am I right?
Yeah, coming onto our tracks, being too big for the goddamn tracks, not knowing how to turn. I say send them back. That's what I say.
Williams representation.
Exactly. But what else is there in the world of motorsports to talk about?
Not really. So nothing really interesting. I mean, if Williams come higher than 10th this race, Albon has pulled a worldie out the back. There's no...
I mean, my prediction should probably still end up being true, I reckon. Like, by the end of this, probably still guaranteed true. What did I put? AlphaTauri to win? Or Williams to win? Or
I don't get it. They have such a good qualifying car.
Yeah.
Albon will qualify no lower than, like, 12th in qualifying. But it's like the second they put fuel in the car, it's like they forgot that's part of the race, and the car just falls apart. It's so bad.
How about this, right? Give me the most brief description of how winning the series works. Is it points for position?
Points. You get points.
Position, right?
Points based on where you finished. First to 10th get points.
So, hear me out, right? Hear me out, okay? You get points for the qualifying. Is that already a thing, or is that not a thing?
No, you don't, but you do in Formula E.
There you go. So I'll say
F2.
You get points for the qualifying. Like, the regular amount of points that there is, you get those for qualifying.
Jesus Christ, double the amount of points in the season would be a bit insane.
And then, oh, no, the whole inflation would happen here. Relativity would have to happen. This would just be the new standard, right? So you get points for qualifying, right? And then, the qualifying positions are inverted on the starting grid.
They are in F2.
And then you get double the points for the positions for the actual race.
You're just talking about Formula 2.
Is that exactly what that is?
The way is similar. In Formula 2, you get points for qualifying.
Yeah.
But, because there's 2 races in Formula 2 every weekend. You've got the feature race and the main race. In the feature race, top 10 are flipped.
Yeah.
Qualifying results. So it gives someone a chance, like, say the aim is to qualify, like, around the 10th mark.
Yeah.
If you're a slower team, if you can get 10th, you will start on pole for one race.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to score some points.
Exactly. And again, it would cause the ones who are obviously better, they'd have to go through the pack.
But then you get a race because you've got the good cars fighting their way through the pack.
Yeah. And, like, because in my head I was like, oh, so everyone would just qualify really slowly. But if you
there's 2 races.
If you add points to qualifying and add points to, and then double the points for the race.
Because, the way they've counted it in Formula 2 is you get points for qualifying and there's a race on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is inverted, Sunday isn't.
Yeah.
So if you do good in qualifying, do good in the Saturday's race and Sunday's race, you get a load of points.
I mean, I
so it
suppose
still
that works
incentivizes fast teams to go fast throughout the weekend.
But even chucking in the extra race, obviously. But the way I was thinking is that to just do it so it's like, so you give half the points for the qualifying and then flip the whole grid. So a team could actually be strategic about it and be like, okay, look, we're not going to win the actual race, so we'll go really fast in qualifying and firm starting at the back. Whereas, like, a really fast team might drive slower and get less points in qualifying, but that might hurt them in the overall because everyone gets points for qualifying as well. And then, flip it so that now, naturally, the grid is going to have to invert over a long race. It's like flipping a coin,
I think they should bring back one-shot qualifying. It was a disaster when it was introduced because of the way it worked at the time.
Yeah.
But the way, because it would be great for sponsors nowadays. Because the way one-shot qualifying works is you've got a set hour, and then it's in FP3 order. The cars just go out on track one at a time for one flying lap only for qualifying. And that's where you start. Just your time you get in that that's it. You start in order.
I reckon that
because it would allow teams, because a Red Bull wouldn't want to throw it into a wall and risk starting last because they'd have no reference or anything.
Yeah.
But a team like Williams could just turn the car up to the moon and throw it down the track and just hope. Because if they get a bad time, they start last. If they put it in the wall, they start last.
Yeah.
So they have an incentive to just try.
Well, there's so much they could do. I'm genuinely quite in love with this inverted thing idea. I was genuinely
just watch F2.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Because I'm just sat here. Because obviously, naturally, in the motorsports segment, I do fight the urge, but I just zone out, and I'm like, couldn't they just do that? And then, I genuinely think that would improve it a lot.
Qualifying for sprints, I think they should try different qualifying. I think they should try one shot. They should try F2 style. They should try Formula E style. And whichever one works best for the F1 regulations and cars, they should put that into main qualifying.
Imagine Verstappen having to, starting at the back and having to overtake every single team to get to the front. Is he going to have enough time in the race to do that? Should he have qualified slower?
I'm not 100% certain on how Formula E does it, but they call it duels, which I think is kind of cool. I think they send two cars out, and they battle, and then based on those times, I don't know.
Sounds like they're having a lot more fun. Why is F1 so bad?
I think F1, if they change because people are crying about the sprints as is, I think F1 are afraid of changing the format in case of backlash.
Yeah, I guess. Which you're kind of trapped.
One-shot qualifying would be so good because you get one lap focused on one car for every car on the grid.
Yeah. Well, that would make qualifying a lot better, and inverted things would make the races a lot better. Overall,
well, if it's in free practice order, the faster cars go first.
Yeah. And
by the time you get to the slower cars, the track's more rubbered in, so they will technically go a tenth quicker. But they're so slow anyway, it's not going to matter for the top cars.
Yeah.
It just means the midfield gets more competitive because say Williams are last in free practice, they have a better chance of getting 3 or 4 places higher than they should be in qualifying.
Yeah. I reckon strategy, that would add a bit of strategy that you'd have to think about.
But then you've also got the risk of an hour where only one car goes at a time. You got rain, so you just might it rain this weekend? Oh, we want to try and get high in free practice because it's
You chuck in, goddamn, bloody, I don't know, Verstappen again, but one of the only names I know. So you'd actually have to think about, okay, I could beam for points in the qualifying, or I could go slow and not start at the back of the grid and then beam there. If he did beam for qualifying and get the max points there, you'd have to watch an incredibly talented driver in an incredibly well-made car go from the very back to the very front. There would be overtakes. I was about to say, I was going to make the metaphor.
It's an absolutely wild thing that based on the points you got last race, you start further back.
Yeah, that would
which
work,
would be interesting to try once.
But it's depending on the race, right? It's like a coin flip. You could flip a coin 4 times and get all head. But if you flipped it 4,000 I know, right? Yeah. If you flipped it 4,000 times, you're way more guaranteed for it to be exactly 50-50. It's like that. If it's a short race, the drivers might still stay close to the inverted start line. But if it's a longer race, you're actually going to slowly see the whole grid flip back over. I reckon that would I say they hire us. I say they hire us.
You can see, it's something interesting in this image you've got on the screen now. You can see how important the floors are over time. You got no floor, no floor, no floor. And then you got the 1980s where it's just all floor, where ground effect is all that matters. then it was banned, so you've got more wing base, and then as you get to the newer ones, the floors become more important again. It's just they're going back to squares.
Weird. Like, it looks weird, because, like, the F1 cars, in my head, I never see the, like, weird, because, like, looking at that Red Bull one and that Mercedes one, in my head, the shape of an F1 car is that, like, curvaceous shape.
Yeah.
My brain never thinks that from the top, it's just like a block with, like, a...
Floors, the aerodynamics from the floor matters so much.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, I guess, but given that we've now just fixed F1, I think we deserve the week to come back to F1. Yeah.
As long as Williams get a better chance at winning, I don't care. They make it so any team that starts with the name Williams
if they just changed it so it's 50 points per race as Williams, then...
That's a genius idea.
Then that would work.
Or Williams are allowed to run double the power of everyone else.
Yeah, because it's only fair. Look at that qualifying. Like, they deserve it.
Well, in Formula E, they have fan boosts, which allow the cars to go quicker based on whichever one you want more. Or they have, like, attack things, so you can go offline, and then you go quicker for a set duration of time.
Do you remember the toys as a kid, where it was a toy car, but it was, like, mixed reality or whatever it is, where you'd hold a phone up to the car, and it would, like, have power-ups, and you'd do a race.
Yeah.
They should do that! Where, like, you can watch the normal feed, or you can click, like, the digital feed, and they have power-ups. Like, someone could pick up an EMP, and if they get close to a car and activate it, the car next to them's engine just gets limited completely. Like...
They get spikes that come out the frontal wheels or something.
No, but like not even like physical ones, like a mixed reality one where it's like pretend, right? Like
that'd be so bad. People would actually lose their minds.
If everything was this popular and to this level, when those toys were
people
made...
would do it against Verstappen on purpose just to be funny.
Oh yeah.
They'd give Perez like ultimate 10 times boost and like invisible spikes on EMP just to be funny.
Alonso would just be getting boosts. Like it would just be like it would be cool. But imagine getting boosted mid-turn. I imagine that would be funny.
But the way it works in Formula E is it comes up in your dash that you've got this extra boost and you press a button on the wheel to use it.
Yeah, like that's kind of cool. That's a cool way of doing it. It's dumb and it shouldn't exist because the fans can just bias one guy endlessly.
I think it was removed for this season.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Because it was broken. It was completely broken.
Yeah, you couldn't have it seriously. But like, yeah, that's... Why is everyone doing everything better than F1 does everything?
F1's so stuck in tradition it can never change.
Yeah, which sucks. But if that
it sucks until Williams start. If Williams are meta next season, it's great. The format is perfect.
It's amazing. Then it works. But as soon as Verstappen comes back around,
Verstappen to Williams? Like surely, right? Say Verstappen's contract's coming to an end. Say Dorilton, like because they have infinite money.
Yeah.
Say they just... Because Adrian Newey's contract's coming to an end as well. If Williams, or Dorilton, who owned Williams, just threw infinite money to get Verstappen and Adrian Newey back like to Williams, actually would be insane. But they never will, so.
And it would be funny too. It would be like, what? Okay, this is a reference that I have no right making. Cristiano Ronaldo... switching to smaller team. Is that a thing that he did?
He did. He went to a Middle East team, didn't he? Saudi Arabian team, I think.
Or like Jack Wilkinson going from Premier League to... Or Collison, that's the one. Jack Collison going from...
he went to like Premier League to like League 3, was it? Or Champion? I don't know, Championship.
And then just to coaching at like a local... But yes, if that is all... For the Motorsports segment, that will be it for this week of the Stick Drift podcast. We'll see you boys on episode, I believe, 100. Is the next episode of the Stick Drift podcast. We'll see you boys in that one. Make sure you subscribe if you watch that long. Check out some of the older episodes if you'd like. Of course, you don't have to. If it's against YouTube terms of service, then we're not telling you to watch the podcast for watch time. But if it isn't, do that. But we'll see you boys in the next one. That's going to be about it from us. in a bit.